He usually hosts his podcast with me, and he usually does a lot of the technical stuff. So the show's supposed to start at 8. We weren't mic'd up properly. I was going live from a friend's page. There were a lot of mishaps this morning, or earlier, 15 minutes ago, whatever fucking relevant time zone you're living in. This is a second take, so that's why I'm coming in a little hot. My name's Mandy Jones. I host Wildflowers, a show that alongside my friend Bonnie Scalisi and I every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 on my page. It's a live interactive podcast like this one where as you guys log in and throw comments, we like to include you guys. My husband is my other half. He helped me, like I said, do all the technical stuff here, and he usually helps me interview the guests. So tonight I have the guest to myself, so you guys will see what Mandy can do on her own. And I have a really good friend with me tonight, so I'm not nervous at all. I'm nervous because I'm 15 minutes late to my own show at my own house. But I'm not nervous with who I'm sitting next to. Couple of housekeeping things. I did say this once already, and I'm going to say this again. It's 9/11, and something that was smarter than me said, I'm not going to act like nothing happened today. And globally, I think it means something, and I'm not going to get political. The show is not political. I'm a comedian. I'm here to make you laugh for an hour, but people lost their lives on this day in history in 2001, and then for continuous days after that. And if you want to count the war, they're still losing lives. So it's just a tragedy, and I'm not gonna act like nothing happened. And the people that were affected, the families that were directly affected, and that this day brings up, tremors for them. But I have a great comedian in the studio with us tonight, so we are going to be talking comedy as much as possible. This is the 5th episode of the CALAMAITY Jones Hour. Please share the show. We like to interview all different people from all different walks of life. And so I think I'm going to bring them on because I think it's enough about me. And let's welcome our guests. I'm going to give you a formal introduction. First of all, when I wanted to be a comedian on Long Island, I sent out 3 emails and only one person responded. And this man responded. And had he not responded, I might not be podcasting for you tonight. So he's very important in my little life. But if you've done comedy on Long Island in the last 20 years, and you don't know this man, you're a lying sack of shit.
He said the sound needs to go a little bit louder.
We need to be sound up. Sound up, people. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. How about that?
Sounds.
How about that, guys?
Is that better, guys?
Now we should be like blasting you out of the water. Oh, and I'm not even plugged in, so now I'm really gonna blast them.
Sitting on a microphone.
I was sitting on my microphone, so that's really gonna blast them out of the water. Yeah, guys, this is just we're having nothing but fun here. We're working out the kinks. This is life. It's messy and it's not perfect. So get with the program. This man has been doing comedy for 20 years. He's performed all over the nation, all over the tri-state area. He's a huge producer. Let's welcome my friend and yours, Mr. Evan Weiss. Yes, Evan, welcome. Well, I usually woohoo and you know, I've been meaning to woohoo you. So, woo! Welcome,
Sorry,
Evan.
Guys, we were 10, 11 minutes late.
Yeah, we were stuffing our faces with pizza, and then I went live and was on a friend's page who was...
And then she had to get the mics up.
And then I realized we didn't have mics. And then I was sitting on a mic just now.
That's what she does. She sits on mics.
Yeah, so yeah, that's how I get my place in life. And but Evan, tell us a little bit about you.
I wanted to thank you for inviting me on.
Oh my God, you're
for
so
a
welcome.
Special day.
Well, first of all, let's get this straight. Evan, this isn't the first time you've been at my house, so we're like real pals in real life. This is like just a run of the mill. Well, you know, now we got the audience, but this is
December 7th next time, you know.
What do you mean? You performed at my last show.
No, I'm going for the Horrible Days. That was Pearl Harbor Day. Do I have to give you
Oh yeah, I wasn't born when that was fucking going on.
Neither was I, but that was literally
The day we stormed the beach in Normandy.
No, it wasn't Normandy. It was Pearl Harbor when they stormed
When the
us.
Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
It wasn't the Germans. That was the movie.
I know. Now I'm just being
Japanese.
silly. I'm just being silly. And I went to Japan and it was a great country.
I think that was in the movie Animal House. That line.
Yeah, that's Animal House, guys. But yeah, so we're having nothing but fun here. Evan, you could see us here now.
Can you make me skinnier?
No, it's not I'm getting better at Photoshop, but I'm not that good. I'm not that good.
You can't work miracles.
Seriously. And now I can't find my mic, so I can't even get my mouse, so I can't even get it to just you. I can't get off of just you. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now we're good?
Oh, they can hear us. How about
now
that?
we're getting people. Wow. We're getting in-house confirmation that we're good. You're fine, Zach. The dogs are fine.
You know what's amazing? You were just making fun of Michelle. How many takes to do your 20-minute
because she wrote a whole thing about how it's not live, and I said I can't imagine that because I just get the hour over with. Whatever you guys get, you get. You know what I mean? Like that's why you guys come back. Ivan, who I went to high school with, and he's expecting a baby on the way with his wife. Congratulations, Ivan, and thank you for tuning in. This is my friend, Evan Weiss.
And let's say hi to Tony Finelli.
And Tony Finelli, thank you for sticking with us. He was on the phone with Evan. He's a personal friend of Evan, so he was hanging tight, and he was actually messaging Evan at like 8:05, like, where are you guys? And I'm like sweating, like, I'm working on it, like realizing that like we don't have mics and I don't have my tech-savvy husband. Nancy Weems, thank you for joining us tonight, and Joan Krupi Asher. They are both women that are always here on Friday nights. They hang out with us. Oh, and now that I'm looking at myself, my hair looks horrible.
The volume.
Do you guys need to turn your volume up? I think it's you guys. They can see you, can't see you, can see you. Turn mic volume up. Yo, I'm going to just blast the mic as I don't walk away with it. So, you're on.
Never forget this podcast.
Well,
never forget.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. So, like, is it on? It's got to be on to the middle.
I just want to say, we remember all the fallen heroes and people that died afterwards from the horrible events of 9/11. It was an awful day, 2001. And a lot of people, not only did they die that day, but a lot of people got cancer afterwards.
And then, like, no help. You know, like Jon Stewart was lobbying. Jon Stewart, by the way, breaking my goddamn heart, lobbying to Congress. Like, tear in his eye, like, I'm here, you guys should be here.
Well, he should have taken some money out of his own pocket.
Well,
I don't know if he did, but
But we already talked about Broke Comics. I paid Jim Pizza tonight to come to this.
Thank you for the pizza.
To come to this event. It was Andy's. It's Andy's Pizza. It's a great pizzeria.
I'm gonna have to tell the comics when I'm invited anyway. You have to pay me in salad because I won't.
Because Mandy's gonna fatten you up if you eat too much.
I'm already fat. I just gotta get skinny.
There's nothing wrong with being fat.
Yeah, my doctor says I don't have much longer to live.
Your doctor actually says the complete opposite. He says there's a big problem.
I'm still borderline diabetic and I'm running out of surgeries. I had my gallbladder removed a few years ago.
Well, yeah, that's part of your shtick is you talk about how you had elective surgeries and how you're just going to start getting elective surgeries because you lost weight after.
Yeah, it's my shtick because that's something that actually happened.
Well, that's what it is. The jokes become life, and then life become the jokes.
Yeah, but I don't want to die for the jokes.
Oh, he took one for the team. Well, what was great was Evan does the bringer style,
I just call them showcase shows.
They're showcase shows, but you know what? It makes the most sense because, all right, I'm a comic. If I have 5 family members and 5 friends that want to see me, and we can get 8 comics, and they could all have 5 friends and family
6,
or whatever. You do 6, yeah. I'm making it seem like it's less than. But you think about it, then you are guaranteed an audience. You go up on stage and you're guaranteed an audience because all the comics are guaranteed an audience. So like all my early, if you go to Mandy Jones, the comedian, my YouTube channel, which everyone should subscribe to. All my early stuff is I would go to your shows, bringer style shows, and I would pay $20 because that's part of Evan's deal.
Just call them showcase shows.
Showcase shows where
'Cause
they're,
I-
but they're
But I
not.
put a lot of pros in there and had a video guide.
But there's so many guys that are like, I haven't done a show in a year and a half, and they'll hit you up because they love that professional. You make
Yeah.
it professional, and the thing is,
Well,
when
I
it's
don't make it professional. It is professional.
well, you hold yourself to a standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not knocking you, dude. You don't have to.
I know,
You
well,
don't
I
have to
wanna-
be on the defense.
I know, but I wanted to give a shout out also to Al Martin, who, you know.
I don't know who Al Martin is.
Al Martin owns Broadway and Greenwich Village
Oh,
Comedy
okay.
Clubs.
See, so you're obviously doing better than I am.
And his book that he put out, I Did It on a Dare, by Al Martin, how he built the comedy empire.
Really?
And I interviewed him on exactly this subject. And a lot of the people would, I don't like bringer shows, but he talked about this in his book. A lot of clubs wouldn't exist if it weren't for those shows.
Right.
Because there wouldn't be a revenue stream.
My family they came and saw me at my first show, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow, this is so great." They thought I was like really great at comedy, and it was
Yeah.
it was you had this. It's almost like you don't pay to be in it. Your friends pay to be, because some people pay for writing classes, and then at the end
Yeah.
there's a show,
Yeah.
so it's like a recital. But like with you, it was like I went to your open mics and I learned what worked because comics would either laugh at it or not laugh at it, and then I felt like I was ready to go on stage and make my family and strangers laugh because you would give me feedback all the time, and you still do, and I always think of you because I'm someone, the guys, now that you watch my comedy, now you're gonna watch this, that I do this. I pace around. I move around a lot, and especially when you would see me at open mics and I'm trying to think of something, you're trying to collect myself. I'm bouncing around the room, and you're like, it's distracting. You taught me to move the mic out of the way. That's like that's 101. But you could let comics fail and not show them that stuff, but you choose not to.
And you know what? For years, I'm just trying to be nice because so many people get into this and they don't listen or they can't take even basic advice. So I shut my mouth for years because people would say, he's so arrogant or this. So I just shut my mouth because, like, you know what? He knows what he thinks he's better than everything else. No, I'm just trying to be helpful.
Well, I remember when I was writing down, Evan keeps this book of his showcase of all the showcases he's doing every Saturday. He's booked out, less COVID.
It hasn't been
since COVID, but he's booked out and he has his notebook going. And I was like, all right, dude, I've been doing comedy, via your mics for 3 months. I think I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready. And then I'm like, book me for like the next 2 months of Saturdays. And you and 2 other comics grabbed me and were like, your friends and family love you, but they are not going to go to that much comedy. You need to stretch that out over the next 3 years of your life, and you're going to be lucky if they come.
But there are the rare occasions people do sometimes bring out a lot of people, but those are few and far between.
Right.
Know?
Some people have jobs where, like, they have just jobs where, like, that people party and they're going to go to a bar anyways. So we'll go see Joe Schmo.
Yeah, if they have, like, a big Italian family, if they work at a hospital, or if they're a teacher.
Well, you threatened us one time.
I don't threaten you.
No, you were like, a show, it's not going to happen if you guys don't sell the tickets. Like, we obviously need to secure the room. And
it's not threat, it's literal.
But one of our great friends, rest in power, Adam Morris. He's Evan. You're like, you said he bought 15 tickets, and brought one friend.
Yeah.
But I hope he got the free video that night.
Yeah, I bought a video for him. Yeah.
And the ride, and probably the food on the way in. He was a great friend of ours and a very, very hilarious comic.
We lost him to alcoholism. Rest his soul.
Yeah, too young. The drink. Well, he slipped in the shower, but it's going on.
He got an aneurysm.
But he slipped in the shower from an aneurysm. But
he slipped from the aneurysm.
Obviously you had an aneurysm and you slipped in the shower. But you know what I mean? That he lives such a wild life. He has jokes about being part of drive-bys because his cousin asked him to hold the wheel of the car, and then you go and so simple. You thought it would have been something more.
Yeah, he would call me every day and start fights with me.
Oh, you loved each
And he
other.
was just so obnoxious. And he was the only person to get banned at 2 clubs as a bringer comedian. He'd say, "You're not allowed to come here as an audience member. You're causing trouble."
They're not even going to let you pay money and be a patron in here.
But it was so set. He was the first person. Hopefully that never will happen again. But first person in my life, I was the last person to speak to, and then his mom called me and said he just died.
Oh, I know. Well, and it was weird because I was messaging him with him earlier that day on Facebook also because it was like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon it happened.
Well,
and it was like the daily banter, like a Saturday, I was up at 11 o'clock. I remember I was upstate, on my phone talking shit on Facebook to my friend.
10 o'clock, he wouldn't get off the phone. He just kept talking and
Right,
talking.
right.
Like, I literally was in the shower, and he still kept talking.
That's how close these guys were. They were very close.
I mean, it wasn't on video phone, but he just kept talking and talking.
But still, come on, that's intimate.
No, he just kept talking and talking. He liked to hear himself talk.
He was great. He was someone who was unapologetically himself. I know that Adam's proud of me right now. Because I got thrown off a network. I didn't get thrown off. They no longer wanted my content, which I own my own content now, which is great. But it didn't slow me down. It didn't discourage me. You know what I mean? Me and you have I've worked with different people, and me and you are still friends, and still, you know what I mean? Like, there are certain people that, like, Esther was over the other night, last night. Esther.
You do a podcast too?
Esther, well, she hasn't done the podcast since we've been here yet. She did it back when we were at the old studio, but we have to like redo the roster. Like, we have to have everyone in again because it's like almost like a whole new show with just me and Bonnie. Like, we're gonna actually have Tony on, not as a host but as a guest, and it'll be just the 3 of us, which we've never done just the 3 of us show.
Is he gonna be the third mic again, or?
Well, no, I'm saying just for an episode, because really with Bonnie and I and sitting at the table, once it's 5 comics in a room, guys, you guys love us and we love you, but you end up yelling over it. We get excited and we start yelling over it, and it's hard to listen to.
Well, I grew up listening to Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony, and they just knew how to play ping pong, and they would bash each other. I really know when to shut your mouth. This one, even beating each other up, you got to know when this one's gonna say something to smash this one.
Yeah, you give them the setup and you let people knock them down, and honestly, it's made me a better conversationalist.
What? I'm sorry, I'm an ass.
No, but it's the truth. It's making me listen. They always say, don't listen to respond. Don't listen to just talk back and say what you want to say. You should listen so that you can respond properly.
I like how we have the split screen. You're literally a foot from me.
Oh, yeah. I know, and I'm yelling over here.
So anyway.
Yeah, I know. Well, it gives the illusion that I have a grander house, guys. Camera angles. There's a lot you can do. That's Kylie Jenner's thing. She always says, know your camera angles. know your camera angles.
One day you'll be a billionaire like her, right?
Right? You think?
They downgraded her. They said she's not a billionaire. She lied about the money.
That's all right.
But I'm sure she can.
I'm sure she's still doing fine for herself. Yeah, I'm sure she's doing fine for herself. My husband, Glenn Rautoro, thank you for joining us, baby. I had some technical difficulties. I didn't even have the mic set up. They were on like 0 volume.
Tony Finelli, read the room.
Read the room, Tony Finelli. You are right. That's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. We read the room in terms of where the stories are going.
Funny thing that I did to my friend Tony, I'll tell this story. I told you that earlier. I picked up his 16-year-old at McDonald's.
Okay.
And then I called him. I go, she's not there. Somebody picked her up. I don't know. Maybe she's kidnapped.
Yeah. Have you told her not to get in the car with people other than me? And have she what? You're like Uncle Evan, like picking her up from school.
Yeah, she knows me. But
hitching a ride.
She was like, she played along. She was quiet.
Oh my God, that's great.
And she was like, you're kidding. He's like, He's like, "Are you there?" I didn't want to say her name, but "Are you there? Are you there?" And then she said, "Yeah, I'm right here, Dad."
Oh my God! Well, they played a prank on my mother-in-law that her brother was at her house at my in-laws' house, and somebody came over just to grab something. My mother-in-law goes, "Oh yeah, the house is open. Go over. Just whatever. Go to grab what you need from the backyard." And my uncle goes, "I was skinny dipping, like it was like during the day," and she's like, "She just walked in on me skinny dipping," and he was like, "You got to keep the lie up with me. You got to keep the lie." And for like 12, it was like maybe 6 hours, not even. They were like, she was like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe she thought her brother. She thought this is basically her niece now." On another side of the family, seeing her brother naked, and they kept it up. And then I was like, I'm gonna break it to you. I was like, they wanted me to keep the dream alive. That's what they were saying. That's what they were calling it.
He wasn't really skinny.
No. She didn't see anything. He was in the backyard, and they ran into each other. He said, "We got to tell my sister that you saw me naked. We gotta fuck with her a little bit."
And Tony got pizza Wednesday, so it was on the second day of the week. I had pizza.
Oh my God! All right, yeah. So now you have to feed Evan in salads.
Yes, salads.
That's what leads a rabbit now. That's
I had salad for lunch in the past few days, but I'm gaining too much weight. I signed up to see the nutritionist again.
Well, you're one of the people during COVID that continued working out. A lot of people are like, "Oh, gym's closed, can't work out." Like you're like, "I'm gonna just do laps outside." I'm like, "You have color." You're like, "Yeah, it's called walking outside." Played a good prank on Evan that I currently fatter than him. Gotcha, bro. It's been an act the whole fucking time.
Oh, he's claiming he's wearing a fat suit.
Oh, okay.
Because he's.
Are you large? Are you a fat man?
Are you big fat?
Are you a fat man? My hair looks horrible. This is horrible.
Your hair looks great.
No, it's really bad.
Oh, my hair.
Yeah, I know. It's looking. I mean, I guess compare that. That's what I'm comparing it to. So let me give you some Can I give you some formal questions?
Formal, yes. Let me put my formal dress on.
All right. Well, I know a lot about your background because you joke a lot about like jobs you've had and stuff. But what were you like in high school? Like, what was your like MO?
Well, I got in trouble a lot. I was in.
You got in trouble?
Yeah.
Really? For what?
Well, I get into fights. I was in special ed.
So people would pick on you, and you'd say shut the fuck up, and then you'd get in trouble.
I'd get in trouble. It's just from sticking up for myself. No matter what I did, I'd try not to fight, and then I'd end up getting into a fight.
Yeah. Okay. Kids suck. Kids are just mean. So then is that what built up? Like, because comedy is very much like you make fun of yourself so that no one can make fun of you first. They put
me in special ed, and I just was making fun of the teachers. The rest.
Oh, you're like, this is great. Yeah, so you're like, oh, now I got someone. You got crowd work. So
yeah, I basically make fun of the teachers, and I realized I got laughs.
Because you weren't hurting any of the peers. You weren't.
No, I just make fun of the teachers. I mean, once everybody bullies somebody. I mean,
somebody deserves it.
I got bullied. I bullied other people. Then I got into fights. But I usually make fun of the teachers, which didn't help my grades. But I just, I didn't say I was a genius, but I tested at my grade level. They should have. First, they put me in there because I didn't do a lot of homework.
Okay, so yeah, first it was just like degenerate, like not degenerate, but just not really, They're kids. They really, what they should have done is they really should have encouraged you a little more. They shouldn't have been like, all right, you're gonna just hang out and be a clown now. Like you're just. Well, and Adam has the joke about being in resource room, and he's like, yeah, we had an N64 in the fucking classroom. Like, like they weren't trying to teach us; they were trying to distract us. They're trying to. At that point, they're just trying to keep you away from the kids who are advancing.
Yeah, I didn't want to be.
They don't want to bring you.
I just wanted to.
It's nothing wrong with being in special ed, but I'm just saying, like. You probably just needed more encouragement.
You felt so left out of, and you're in people with, when you get into special ed, you're either grouped with people that mental capacity or not there, or they just,
Yeah, it's either mental or physical.
Or
So it's like
they're
behavioral or
disruptive.
behavioral
yeah,
disability.
and then all of a sudden, once I was there, they're like, "Oh, this guy's a problem." The other
It's
way,
fun-
I
it's
got
funny
grouped in
'cause
the wrong group. Yeah, I'm
You're like, no, I'm an idiot.
no, I'm a little slow, just a little bit.
You're like, I'm not one of these aggressive guys. And then they're like, you are. So
And then they talk down to you, and I'd say,
wait
"Stop
a minute,
talking
fuck
down
you.
to me."
Wait a
And,
minute,
like-
fuck you. I am a tough guy.
And they go, "You see that empty box in there? Go in there and take an hour by yourself. Close it."
Isolation chamber.
Yeah, they had an isolation box. Yeah, exactly. Where they had like
What year was this?
It was like the cubby hole. They close up with the
Chokey from Matilda.
cubby hole. They had a desk. They put me in the cubby hole. Yeah. One teacher
They
actually.
ba-
One teacher.
They barricaded you in there?
Yeah. Well, then one teacher.
That's
actually
not legal
in
anymore.
the second grade, put tape over my mouth.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Can you believe that?
For what? What were you saying?
I think I was just talking. I don't think I was doing anything. I wasn't like cursing. I was just talking to my neighbor.
Oh, you're probably 8 years. What are you, 8 years old in second grade?
Yeah, I was just a loudmouth Jew. Like they don't have any of those in New York.
Like she had never
She'd
seen
never
this.
seen a Jew before.
So she decided to tape your mouth
Tape
shut.
the
That
Jew's mouth
Nazi,
shut. Yeah.
fucking
Nazi.
Nazi,
Yeah.
Nazi
I was-
second grade teacher.
I
Jesus
just
Christ.
remember that all when you brought this all up. This is
Jesus,
like
that was like a repressed memory.
This
That
is-
was like deep.
this is like therapy session.
That's what everyone's been saying about it. It's because it's in my house. It's very like I light incense. I
Incense.
give you some truth serum in the water.
So Evan, tell us where the body's buried.
About that.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is I just posted this on my Facebook.
Okay.
I got a spam from Amazon for Catcher in the Rye.
Why spam?
I don't know. That's weird. But you know.
Oh,
what
well, because
from?
that's what John Lennon allegedly, the
The,
guy was reading
the one that
before he
killed
took.
Lennon,
I was
yeah.
John Wilkes Booth. Before he took out Lennon, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Before he took out Karl Marx.
We're historians here.
This
Karl
is
Marx, he was one of the best comedians. Karl
Oh.
Marx and the Marx Brothers, one of the best comedians
I like him better than Harpo.
and socialist of all time.
Yeah,
Best-
no, this is
Best communist, Karl Marx, and comedian of all time. And
my
Harpo Marx is a great socialist.
and Groucho.
communist
Groucho
as
was
well,
a
yeah.
fascist. Groucho Marx was a
Yes,
fascist.
great. They led Russia, the Marx Brothers.
That is the
History by Mandy and Evan.
These are the Snapple caps of life, guys. You don't know what's true. You don't know.
This
Apparently,
might as well-
his wife didn't want to even go to the theater that night.
Yeah. Well, this is great. We do drunk history, but drunk history sober.
We just do. What is it called? What's that game where you just make up the dictionary? What's the word where you make it's it's a game and you make up the definition.
Ad-libs?
No, you make it's like that, but it's called
I don't
something.
know. I mean, I
It's
feel old.
it's not called scruples.
Mad Libs?
No, you're getting no. It's not Mad
I
Libs.
don't know this.
It's called Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
All right, we're
It's
gonna play Boulder Dash. and
But
come
it's gonna
back
be
in an hour.
history, and it's gonna be us just saying things that you're gonna have to fact
Mark
check.
David Chapman, that's his name. Tony got it.
Oh, I
He's
love.
the one that killed Lennon. Mark David Chapman.
Okay. Well, apparently, John Lennon's last words were, "I'm shot." He went into a hotel, and the clerk was like, "You got to sign out, dude. Like, you can't just like walk in and out of the building. Like, you have to sign out." And he goes, "Oh, I'm shot." Like, saying like I'm out of it
What a
today. Like,
drama queen, you know, I'm shot.
yeah, like
Oh.
like I'm so shot right
I am
now.
so like shot.
Well, yeah.
I'm odd.
Glenn watched like the last 28 last memorable things that people said, and that was one of them. He wrote, he said, "I'm shot," and then he walked out and got shot in the fucking head. Catcher in the Rye for all you terrorists out there holding Caulfield. That's how we got on this.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, who else?
They're
Wasn't
targeting you to read. Is it because you're going around the school? They're like, you should be on the. It's because Evan goes to the tracks. That's how he
Well,
plays.
I only went to the track the last 8 months when the school was closed, not when they're open now.
But they assume that you want to know the
maybe-
coming of age
Maybe
tales.
Amazon and Google. said,
They were
guy's
like,
definitely-
he's definitely into coming of age tales. Like he's trying to get in shape for school that's starting in September.
But I think there was a few killers who read the Catcher in the Rye, weren't
I
there?
mean, most killers are smart.
but that specific book.
They had an affinity for it.
Yeah.
I mean, J.D. Salinger was a fucking pedo, right?
I don't know. I'm not much of a reader. I watched TV growing up.
Or was it just C.S. Lewis? I don't know.
See, I didn't do my homework because I was busy watching The Greatest American Hero.
I don't even know
what TV shows of all time.
Is that like American Japanese Warrior?
No, it was about this guy. He was a teacher, and he was also a superhero, but he didn't know how to use his powers because he lost the booklets. So he was kind of, as a teacher, he was smart, but as a superhero, let's say politically correct, he was kind of slow.
Okay. He was in the resource room.
So when he flew, back, one of the earliest superhero movies in the early 80s and late 70s was Superman. And that was such a great movie. They put it together when Christopher Reeve flew, he flew perfectly straight. It just came out such great cinema. But The Greatest American Hero, he's a guy that had no idea how to fly, and every time you'd see him, he's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? It was hysterical.
And this was a series, or this was
it's a TV show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is why I got the special ed. That TV show. And the Dukes of Hazzard. You can't even say that show anymore because
Yeah, that's racist.
they had the General Flag, General Lee.
Yeah. General Tso's chicken
General
flag.
Tso's
flag on their fucking
The Dixie
Mustang.
the Southern flag, the Dixie flag on the car. But we didn't think that was a racist flag back then. It was just representing the
Yeah,
South.
it wasn't like Confederate-ish.
And the
It was
and
just a Confederate flag.
Yeah, and the Dukes they were called the good old boys, and they never meant no harm. That was literally in the song.
But yeah.
It was such a stupid show about driving cars away from the cops.
Yeah. So
Bumbling cops.
I don't even think. I mean, I've never even seen like an old
I
episode
don't think
of
there
that,
was any
and
racism in that show.
I've seen a lot of other old. Yeah, because I've seen documentaries of like a lot of people saying growing up, like young black men saying growing up, I liked that show. Like I
Yeah,
wasn't. There was a cool car. Those were the
but
dudes. That's what that was.
They pulled the show because of the
'Cause-
flag on the car.
But then who was it after that? Knight Rider? Was that the next? He was
That
a
was the
black.
next.
He was a black driver, like
No, it
superhero.
had nothing to do with a black driver.
No, wasn't he a superhero? What was Knight Rider?
David Hasselhoff was just this dude that drove a.
Okay, so wasn't there a black superhero who drove after, or am I just completely hallucinating at this point?
Oh, you're talking about the A-Team.
Probably.
Mr. T. They drove in a van.
Oh, but okay.
But I
So
don't
this
think
is
it was-
back to. Is it History Night with Mandy, or does she not know anything?
This is Special Ed History by Mandy Jones.
This
No, I
is the
think-
resource room
I wasn't a fan
edition.
of the A-Team, but I think they drove a van and had a team, and I guess they solved crime.
I watch too many documentaries that I think I'm smart and that I've come up with my own hypotheses, and I haven't.
Well-
And I don't even remember the hypothesis right. So I'm just like, yeah, isn't it like I called out 2 people for being pedophiles tonight, and I'm only pretty sure one of them was. So this is a history lesson, and please take
they-
everything with a grain of salt. Actually,
The A-Team, which was
Okay.
about a team of A's.
A's?
No, but they were a team. I guess they.
But did they
solved
really
crime.
drug him up and put him on the plane? Because that's.
Who they drug up?
I thought getting Mr. T drugged up was part of it. I thought
don't
they
know,
drugged
maybe
him
that
up.
was in one of the episodes. I don't know.
I thought he was afraid of flying. See, this is
I never saw the A Team. All I know is he was popular.
See, and we're spouting what the A Team's all about. We've never even seen the A Team. See, this is the problem with America.
They used him in wrestling to fight Hulk. He fight with Hulk Hogan. I think in WrestleMania.
Hey, brother.
1, I think, or 2. But he was like, he was the original fighting with Hogan.
Okay. Let's reel it back.
We're gonna talk about Alf now. Because I could have told you what was on every night of the week.
I could have told you. Well, I grew up, I Love Lucy, Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days.
Lucy was on during the day when I wouldn't go to school. And I think
that was Wheel of Fortune. My mom just encouraged me to go to school. She was just like, I'm not going to get in trouble. She was like, I really don't give a fuck what you do.
Yeah.
She just kind of really instilled it in us that, like, there's some, like, authoritative, you know.
It was suggested that you go to school. It's kind of good for you.
It was highly suggested.
Your mom liked weed too, right?
No. My mom for 16 years actually didn't drink or smoke when we were kids.
It sounds so laid back. Hey, if you want to go to school.
No, she was more just like, I'm not going to get in trouble, so that, like, she didn't have to, like, be, like, authoritative. More like, you're going to get yelled at school. Like, if you want to get yelled at school, you could deal with that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure Mom was sober.
I don't know. But Dad was probably smoking a little pot, but that's okay.
But I would literally take off as many days as you're allowed and stay
The max?
Yeah.
Well, Glenn, he had perfect attendance all through, like, grade school, high school. He actually, because it was, like, his grandmother's, like, someone who she loved it. She was very prideful of it. On her funeral, he went to, like, the first period, so he still got, like, participation that he, like, went to school that day and then, like, signed out and went to the funeral. Because so he literally got, like, perfect participation, and then my husband's not someone that you would think is, like, a perfect participation guy, but
wow, that's good.
He was really, by that time it's like, come on, like, a death in the family's not slowing you down, and Grandma would have wanted me to fucking get this.
But they go, oh, you can take this many days off without failing.
You're like, what? You're like 75. Well, that's what they do at college. They're like, you don't have to come ever. Like, they're like, we have 4 tests, you know, come to them. You know, that's what I always told my my little brother-in-law when he went to college. I'm like,
they don't include attendance now?
Well, it's all different. Every teacher has a different syllabus, and every teacher decides what's going to be important to them. Some of them might say, hey, I'm not a test person. We're going to have 4 big papers that you're going to write. And some might say, I'm a big participation person. If you don't fucking participate and are not in every class, 15% of your grade's going to be fucking 0.
Yeah.
You know, but some of them are like, I don't care. We'll never see you again. You can come up to the 4 tests, and I don't care where you learn the shit.
I did better in my last year because all my classes were in the afternoon. When you have bad sleep apnea, it's so hard waking up in the morning.
Yeah, well, any just sleep is just having. I've been having trouble sleeping recently, and it throws you off completely.
I wear that mask,
right.
But probably I've had this problem my whole life, and I didn't realize.
Yeah, you needed a breathing machine, and you were just like fucking going to sleep. Fucking.
I remember when I was 20, and I was telling my doctor what my problem. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I can't breathe during the day. Can't keep my eyes open. They're like, I don't know what to tell you. Take more vitamins.
And then once you're like 40, they're like, oh, sleep apnea, right? Like,
you know, after my gallbladder was taken
they
out,
just like gave you one with the Jello shot at the end, right? They're like, now you have sleep apnea. Like, you take this home. This is yours now.
After they started removing my organs, they go, we think you might have borderline diabetes, sleep apnea, high blood pressure.
We're finding a lot in here. It's a lot more than I was expecting.
When you're not physical, when I stopped working out for a few years, I was driving a cab. And even though it's like you're up all the time, but if
you're sitting.
You're sitting. You literally stop, you know, you're not doing any sort of, it ruins your body. So one day I just felt stabbing pains, and the next 2 days later I drove myself to the hospital.
I'm sorry that in that At that moment, I decided to zoom in and see what the people are.
Oh, they're in a noisy pub. They can't hear. That's why.
Well,
It's like, I can't hear the show. I'm in a pub. I can't even do comedy. It's outlawed in New York to do comedy unless it's
noisy pub. Rhonda, my sister, just started watching. I love you, Rhonda. Hello. Robin DeVito says that is so sexy. I don't know what. Driving a cab? What is so sexy, Robin? Let us in, please. I don't have insomnia, although I do really sleep check my eyelids for holes.
We should do another show in your backyard. That was a fun show.
It was the greatest show ever, right?
Do you own that tent or you rent it?
I own that tent.
Wow, let's do more shows.
No shit.
We'll be the only show in town, literally.
No shit. I'm doing one for Halloween.
Awesome.
It's a blue moon.
Awesome.
Once in a blue moon. It is a Saturday. Halloween.
I was doing Halloween.
Everyone costumes for, both comedians and for, patrons, friends, because everything is free and it is an open bar.
I did a
We
Halloween
do not charge.
themed show, not on Halloween, but themed for the past 4 years at Shakers, and this is breaking my streak.
Well, that was right around when I started. I started the night before Halloween was when I showed up to Shakers.
Yeah, Shakers. I would get someone with professional equipment and shut the lights and.
I know, and
really,
you do it all nice, the tables and the
I
tablecloths.
think the first year I didn't do the food, but then I just got food, and then I think it's nicer when people have food.
Oh yeah, it makes it. It totally makes it.
I got heroes and pizza.
And snacks.
Absolutely.
No, I remember. I wasn't there, but I remember seeing your spread. I remember seeing pictures and being like, "Oh, this was
nice.
like
candy and everything, the lights and all." I don't know if all the comics dress. I always dressed up, and I'm sure some of the comics dressed up.
Yeah. I got to get on my my Halloween bit this year. I got to figure out what I'm gonna be. Me and Glenn have something kicking around, but I can't tell you guys yet. Lou Pratt says, "Hey Mandy, hey Lou Pratt. I don't know why I was sleep and wake up a ghost. Yeah, Nancy, I can't. We're talking about sleep issues." Lou Pratt, how are you on your sleep schedule?
Hi, Lou Pratt. We're talking about sleep apnea and medical issues.
Well, one of we're just catching up on what's wrong with you, Lou. How many hours did you get last night?
Manny and I share the brain brain because we can just switch subjects on a dime.
Well,
when I talked to Tony, he's like, "How can you change subjects?" Because that's the way I think. I don't know what to tell you.
It's called Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
It's called Keeping Up. Hey, Lauren De Jesus, welcome to the party. We love Lauren De Jesus here.
You think like me. I can go flip the subject.
Oh, well,
Tony complains. He's like, "Why'd you change subject?" I'm like, that's the way I think. I don't know.
Well, wait, really great. Me and Evan, my first showcase show that I did with Evan. First of all, I was going into the city. It was like a 5 o'clock show. I'm like, I'm gonna go into the city at like 12 o'clock. You're like, why? Like, I'm so nervous. I'm gonna be I'm so nervous, and you were like, I'll go in with you. We'll meet up. We'll get some food. We'll hit a open mic. I was like, I can't do my set twice in one day. You were like, you'll feel better about it. You'll get some laughs. You took me to the Grizzly Pear. But one of the things that stuck out.
I thought it was the other place.
No, we went to the Grizzly Pear.
It wasn't the Lantern?
Oh. Sure? We went. Did we hit both?
I thought we went to the Lantern.
We performed at Grizzly Pear, but I think we went to the Lantern.
Oh, okay.
I think you showed me. You were like, yeah, here's where they used to do comedy in this basement too. Like we went to like a couple of those.
Yeah, but now they didn't before COVID. They did in the back room.
But I digress. I got a funny story about you.
Sorry, yeah.
Stop changing the goddamn subject.
Okay.
No, but we were eating, you and I, Moe's, of course, just the classiest of class, doctor's orders.
Yeah.
And a homeless man started talking to you, and you just, I have the same effect on homeless people that I just like really, there's no judgments. So like, there's like a really great exchange happened where it was not completely English. There was mumbles and grumbles, and I said to you, I said, oh, I didn't know you spoke bum.
It spoke what?
Bum. And you said, no, I said, oh, I didn't know you spoke homeless. And you said, yeah, I picked a little bit up in college. And I just thought that was just such a classic, that was just like hanging out with a comedian, like just a real life line that made me laugh. You speak homeless. Yeah, I picked a bit up in college because that's what people say about French and like anything cool. Like homeless. Yeah, I picked a bit up in college.
People think like we live this glamorous lifestyle.
They're starving artists.
That we go out and party like it's the 70s and 80s, but literally it's like, hey, go to Moe's and just go to
and
the
then
show.
Like a diner. Let's go to a diner after the show.
We literally live like old Jews, like Seinfeld. That's why he built the show around his life of going to a diner.
His life
what
is
can
this
we make
show.
a show about? I don't know, going to a diner. Okay, let's do that.
Because then we only have to do the one scene too. Because we'll have the diner and the living room. It'll be cheap.
Diner, living room.
And then special outings, special episodes. We'll throw a little more into the kitty. But yeah, it was pretty much those two rooms. I mean, that was Lucy too. She was pretty much the kitchen and the living room. The bedroom.
Yeah, but you felt good going to the mic before, right?
Oh yeah, it was the best thing ever because I got some laughs, and then I got it. Yeah, that was pro tip. That was a pro tip that I I went against the grain, and Evan said, no, you'll feel better. And I had a live audience to practice in front of, and because my fear was that I was going to do my 7 minutes and I was going to get crickets. And then I wasn't going to have a new 7 minutes for the next, for my family and for the show that was my fear. That I was going to bomb and that was it. But I got a couple of decent cackles.
Yeah.
Like just not the room wasn't, I didn't know there was not a laugh break. Nobody was clapping.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of comedians that were like, all right, like, and that's all you really need as a comedian in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that's all you really need. Just one or two comedians that look at you and go, that was a good one. You could stick with that one, and you're like, okay.
But even if you go to a mic, you're going through the motions.
Right.
And a lot of those mics are brutal.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So then you go in front of an audience.
Oh, and it's so nice. It's their night out.
When we say audience, comics, not listening, but they're really not. A lot of times they're looking at their notes, what they're about to do, or what they just did.
They're your friend. They've heard your stuff already, so they're already half zoned
out.
Yeah, they're not listening. They're texting as they're writing notes and getting ready for, like you said, their turn. Whereas at a show, you're waiting for, to be entertained.
That's why it's like a lot of hard work just to get in front of people. I took my friend to an open mic, Tony. And it was his second time on stage. He's like, they weren't listening. I'm like, that's comedy.
Well, that's one of the things you have to learn to do is you got to get ready to be in a crowd that doesn't want to listen. Because you might go to I've been in Governors and I've seen Terry McNeely have a crowd that just doesn't want to listen. It's their night out and they've already listened to comedy for an hour and 25 minutes. And the headliner's on, who's a great comedian, and he's hilarious, but they're tapped out of comedy, and you have to be a professional to get them back in the room and to get them loving you and laughing with you. Because if you just have a shit fit and say, comedy's over, no more fun, I'm not telling jokes, fun, nobody's getting any fun.
I've seen that.
Comedy show's over. You don't want, but I've seen comedians do that. But what you have to do is you have to go, guys, we're joking. What are you guys ordering? What's next? And we gotta get it back. You gotta get the room back. You have to get the room back. Yeah. And that's part of why you have to go to open mics, because it's a bunch of comedians who think they're the funniest fucking person in the room, and you're trying to win them and make them laugh. So that's a mental fuck in itself, because they're trying. Me, Bonnie and Esther, I will say it, and if anybody wants to say that,
they had a threesome.
No, if anybody wants to say a different, you could privately message me, or you could say it right now. But we laugh if something is funny. If it is funny, I will laugh at your joke. I could have a personal vendetta where I don't think you're that great, and if you make me laugh, I'll give a cackle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, this is Evan. He's been doing it for 20 years. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And no matter what, you have jokes that I've heard probably 50 times that I still laugh every time because they're well-written jokes that are funny.
Yeah, Tony, you know a lot of those jokes.
No, but Glenn said the same thing.
Yeah.
My husband, he's like, there's jokes that Evan has that no matter how many times you hear them, you laugh because it's a funny fucking joke.
Yeah,
and you got the timing down and you got everything down about it.
I look at my old tapes from even 5 years ago and I'm better than then, you know?
Right. I know. I look at my showcase shows with you and I was like, this is the best ever. I was sending it to people and then I'm like, oh my God, like,
why did I do that?
Why did I send that to anybody? I can't believe that anybody ever saw that. That's horrible. I actually have the first mic I ever did is recorded at Shakers. And that's on YouTube. And you know what? It says Mandy's first attempt at stand-up comedy. And you know what? You guys can take it or leave it.
Yeah, you do your best. You go out there and do your best.
And it was 7 minutes that was condensed to about 3.5 because I was so nervous that I was... You go through jokes really fast when you're really nervous and you're really trying to get off stage. So you talk really fast and you really... Instead of enjoying the laugh and letting people actually pause, and if they're laughing, don't start the next joke. They might miss it.
Yeah,
let them laugh.
Yeah. I've seen.
You know.
I've had discussions with friends and other comedians. They have. It's called tags. Like you do one joke.
Right, and then
another
it goes
joke
into
after the joke and another joke after. It's called tags. So
right.
It's not just.
It's a little bit. It forms a little bit.
So
you know.
Take one joke and make it into 4 jokes, but then the same comic, they're stepping over those 2 other jokes. And
people are trying to consume it. They're trying to consume the first 2.
Some of them,
and they're laughing, and then they miss the third and fourth that you thought were the funniest.
Yeah.
The laugh is already gone and over.
Well,
and
I tried to sit and, like, you're mumbling. The other jokes are brilliant, but you're mumbling those jokes. Oh, I want to tell this story about when a few years ago, I had a show. It was sold out in advance.
Okay. Evan does a lot of sold out shows, by the way, which is commendable.
And let's just say the guy's name was John B. You might know him.
Okay. Another Long Island person, maybe.
Yeah, and anyway, I get to the club, and there's a foot of water inside the club. And he goes, Evan, you're not going to be able to do the show here tonight. Try the other club, the Grizzly Pear. So I go down to the Grizzly Pear.
Do you have comedians with you?
Yeah, the comedians that help me
the
sell
flock. The flock of comedians, like, ready to go.
Yeah, I had like 55, 60 people.
Oh, so you have the crowd, too?
Yeah,
so now it's a failed trip.
And then
the location might have changed.
The bartender canceled the mic. I sat everybody down.
Where?
At the Pear.
At a new location.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys know the city.
New York City.
In McDougal Street, the club is just right down the road. It's like only a few stores. So he kicked out the mic. I sat everybody. We're about to start. The owner calls and goes, "Get out." And I go, "What do you mean? I'm going to sell you over 100 drinks now." He goes, "I don't care. Get out." So I had to run with John to the next club, the Village Lantern.
You're like, please, just let us tell jokes. We have 100 people who really want to drink. They're thirsty, and we have kids that we cannot let down.
I said, I have a show. I need to do it now. Is anybody using the room down? At the time, they'd use the room. They go, well, you have until 7:30. I go, sounds great. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. Then I marched the other way, and I think John B. fell in the puddle in the street, and we marched him in the
we left him in the dust.
We marched him from the second
We walked over him.
We marched all the people to a third location.
I'm just kidding. We love John B.
And I said, just do 3 minutes because we got to get the show and get everybody up. And we got everybody up. And I only said like 2 things on stage. Thanked everybody. I was drenched.
I know, you were like probably just done at that point. Like,
but I want to make
hello,
sure.
thank you, I'm sorry.
There's only like 3 times in the past,
That's memorable though.
5 times in the past few years where I produced and I didn't get up, and like a few of those times I had a show somewhere else.
Nice.
So I had other people running it, but 3 of those other times, one time I think I was just getting over a cold, and this was like in the summer. I was just getting over a cold, and
were you the first case of COVID?
And I didn't want to get anybody sick, so I didn't want to be on the mic.
Did you bring COVID?
Yeah, maybe it was me. So and then,
summer of last year? That's when shit started going awry.
Another time.
That's when Italy.
Another time I just had hernia surgery, so I just didn't go up. I was just still in pain.
Yeah, that's allowed.
And then another time I think I was at another show.
Yeah.
And I had other people. But usually I go up, but that was like one of the other times I didn't do any times. Like I don't, you're, as a producer, more important sometimes just get them up, make sure they do their time.
Right.
That's I was like, John, only do 3 minutes up front. We got to get people up, get their video.
Yeah, because their parents are already fucking this shit. Like, can you imagine? It's like, all right, this is your first, like, Mom, I got into comedy. It's going to be great. Place is flooded. New place, right? No problem. Great, we're sitting. This place is no longer cool. Get the fuck out. It's like, okay, there's a third place. We swear it's going to be great. You're like, you sure? Should we just go home? Like, because we'll just go home. Like, son, we know you love comedy, and we'll watch comedy on the Netflix at home. Like, you know what I mean? You could have, like, really made or broke dreams that night.
Yeah, but I was reading Al Morton's book, and that happened to him.
Same night?
Same thing happened to him, like, 10 years prior, but he had, like, 2 hours. He didn't have, all that took place within a half hour. All that.
You can't. That's hard. It's hard to get people.
I'm like hyperventilating, and it's raining.
Because he didn't have a sleep apnea mask yet. He's still undiagnosed sleep apnea at that point.
I'm hyperventilating, and I'm like, I don't have money to get back to these people. I'm like, we have to do a show.
You're like, it's a full refund.
I'm like,
you don't have any money.
We're gonna get this show going, people.
We're going to get this show going, and we're going to get out of here.
We're going to have to do it in Washington Square Park.
Everybody give me I'll be writing out IOUs at the end of the block.
But it ended up being, but at the time, the Village Lantern, I showed you the downstairs.
Yeah, I know. You were like.
They had a beautiful showroom down there.
I got the whole tour.
For some reason, they moved it upstairs. It's half the size. But that's still a nice place. But at the time, they had a beautiful showroom. It sat everybody perfectly, and mostly everybody paid in advance. So I just go in, sit. And I think we got started like 6:07. Show was supposed to start at 6. Yeah,
beautiful. There you go.
And then another time, a guy was running an open mic before my show, and he ran it to 6. We're supposed to start at 6. I sat everybody down.
They're like, oh, are we late? You're like, no, this isn't the show yet. Like, these are other not professional.
Yeah,
but it's like they're the same as other comics. They're just not performing tonight. They're just not ready.
He was holding the room hostage till 6 o'clock, and then he gave me an attitude. And then the owner
He's
said,
like, these are really my people. You're like, I brought
the owner said, well, he won't be doing shows or working with the club anymore from this point forward. But I didn't want to kick him out. The guy's giving me an attitude. I had 55 people, 57
I know. You just
people.
You've been just trying to avoid fights your whole life.
When I say 57, it only holds 57. And it was sold out. What is he putting up?
I don't know. He got Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Wait, shouldn't have been getting an executive producer credit on your shows? Same days I fed your fat fucking ass before all. Well, you made her laugh, Tony.
I just love Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I really do, and I'm having a good time. We're gonna have to wrap this up pretty kind of soon.
Oh,
we started 15 minutes late, so we're about at it. We're hitting an hour soon. How can
I want to know when we're doing the other show in the backyard.
Well, definitely on I was gonna say Christmas, definitely on Halloween, but I'll let you know about the one before that. Because we're gonna do either late September or early October. I haven't picked my weekend yet. I'm the only show in town. Would you believe that? And guess what? Your joke, guys. We're giving jokes away for free. Not only is it free jokes, it's free open bar. So we're having nothing but fun. You had a great set. I mean, you bounced out a little early. That's why we didn't have you on the group shot. But we had you as single pictures up.
I literally went to his house to cook
I know, and that's how I know he's in. Hey, Dan Romano's watching. Hey, Dan, what up? Dan, we were actually just saying goodbye for the night. We actually started 15 minutes late, so we're gonna be wrapping this up. But Dan Romano's got some stuff going on October 15th. I'm doing a live show with him.
Excellent. Sounds
Granted
good.
that the the laws that be let us perform, which
we're praying. All these weird rules that if you go to a bar, you have to have food.
Yeah, out of the snatch, and it's a whole thing.
But then you couldn't just get chips. You have to
those
get a sandwich. It's not real substantial. Because if you get only chips, you're going to get
And you got to
COVID.
get a soda. You can't just get water.
He literally stole this from a Seinfeld episode. Jerry, soup isn't a whole meal. Soup and salad isn't a whole meal. You owe me, Jerry. Remember that episode?
Oh, this is a callback. No, I'm actually not. That it's not that I don't like Seinfeld. I just can't quote it like every episode.
Oh, okay.
Like I could quote I Love Lucy. But, Evan Weiss, how do they find you on the internet?
EvanWeissComedy.com. It's not updated.
Okay, and if you're a new comic, Evan will tell you how to find open mics. I could help you as well, but how to find open mics, tips,
right
constructive
criticism. What was that website?
What was
just
it?
Go to freeopenmics.com, and there was
what was the one we used to love?
That had the weird name. I can't think of the name.
Wait a minute.
You go to freeopenmics.com, and then there was another one. I can't think of the name.
I want to call it like Red Dragon, but that's completely wrong.
No.
It was like DJ.
No.
Steve Loaf.
I can't think of the name. Also go to Stephen Roccaperillo.
Stephen Roccaperillo is doing.
Live on Long Island,
he's basically every night doing something.
7 nights a week. Yeah.
Brian Flynn just joined us. My dad's cousin, my Uncle Brian. What up?
Also,
Bonnie Scalisi, my podcaster, co-host there every Wednesday.
Instagram is Evan EVANWSS. That's my Instagram.
I should have. I have it wrong there. I have you at Evan Weiss, but they'll find you on they'll find you on Facebook there.
Oh, okay.
I just put your full name.
Oh,
so that's how you spell Evan Weiss. Evan Weiss Comedy, guys.
Yeah,
is how you find them. Hit them up. Tell them if you're a new comic or if you're a comic that hasn't gotten time in a while. Like I said, it's always a professional showcase. You get the $20 for the tape, and then I upload it to my fucking YouTube. You got a new set. It's nice. It's nice to have new content on your page and stuff as a comedian.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard right now, but you know what I mean.
I was working 7 days a week to do my 4 shows a month, and this COVID thing happened.
I know. We're all adjusting. We're going to go out on a high note, guys, here. We're not going to go on a look. Yeah, hopefully. No. We're not going to go out on that note. Lou Prats, thanks for hanging. Andrew Fremner, thanks for hanging. Bonnie Scalisi, love you. Bonnie Scalisi and I are the Wildflowers every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30. Our next guest is going to be... Bonnie, who's our next guest?
Evan Weiss.
Oh, Michelle Asta and her friend Natalie Vargas. So it's going to be 4 women doing chats. So we're going to have fun. Evan Weiss, anything else you want to say to your friends and your family?
I posted my Instagram name in the chat room, Evan WSS. I have a show maybe tomorrow, but I'm not definite. But I'm probably just going to give my friend a ride tomorrow. That's what I'm...
So you may be performing?
I may be or maybe not performing tomorrow.
All right.
So my next show will probably be Mandy's.
All right, yes, we're going to keep you posted. That's going to probably not be the end of September. It's probably going to be the first week of October, and then we'll probably do the last weekend of October.
Right now, comedy's outlawed pretty much.
Yeah, so we got to give it away for free at private residences.
You can do it like open mic, but it has to be called a workshop. But you can't sell tickets online.
It's a whole thing. We love you guys very much. Evan, thank you so much for coming down and hanging with us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh my God, thank you. We love you guys. Everyone get home safe. Make good choices. Have a nice weekend.